Alright, hey guys, this is Nate, and I'm back with another audio commentary for WCReplays.com. And today, I'm going to be showing you my not so new, but my current solution versus human, which I've found to be very, very effective. So let's go ahead and get this game loaded up. The map is Plunder Isle, matchup is clearly Undead versus Human, and the players are me, WOA Slide, currently level 20, versus Kin Sky, currently level 24. So this guy knows what he's doing. Let's pause the game at 15 seconds, 1x speed, 504, on under my vision. A couple days ago I was playing ladder and stuff and just I played 5-6 humans, got creamed by every single one because they all went Paladin or MK, and they were or even Archmage, and they had a very offensive style that would constantly come and attack me, delay my tech, kill ghouls, and it's really, in my opinion, the best thing human can do, really. If human leaves the undead player alone to tech right up to destroyers and frenzy, they're in a lot of trouble. But if the human player really messes around with the undead, it's just a complete massacre. And I saw this quite a few times, and so I realized it was time for a change in strategy. I don't know, I'm just a bit hesitant to go for fiends against human. I haven't really tried those out yet, and I'm going to be trying them out. But currently, my strategy is back to good old fast expansion, which is very effective. So I hope you guys have reached 15 seconds by now, so let's unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. So I've been looking at this fast expansion stuff, and I realized that it's really very hard for human to deal with it, at least in my opinion. And I also realized that I keep losing games because I'll let my opponents get an expansion up. And trust me, if you let a player have an expansion up for a few minutes or more, the game completely swings around in their favor. It always works like that. The reason for this, and I've been saying this forever, though there's other reasons, but the reason I credit it to, that I have the biggest trouble with, is that you're getting the same amount of gold out of the gold mine at the same pace, but units cost less. So in effect, you're having a more effective use of gold. So that's why expansions are that much more deadly in TFT than they were in ROC. So it's a problem. Of course, if you can get an expansion up, that means you pretty much won the game. As you'll see here, I barely have to micro. I can just kind of mass up whatever I want, and it's just a slaughter. And I've been having a lot of problems also with humans fast expanding against me now, and so on. And so that's why I'm going with the fast expansion. I figure if human fast expands, there's a few reasons really. First of all, if the human fast expands, I'll have it countered. If they don't fast expand and they try to attack me, I've got a real nice solution, which is, guess what? I'm going Dreadlord with sleep, which means I can sleep surround them, get them out of my base immediately. No BS with the Death Knight trying to call your acolytes while they're running around. It's really easy to keep the human out of your base, really easy to keep the human off your back, and just lets you tech right up to tier 3 where you want to be as the undead player. So it's also, again, it's very hard for the human player to stop the expansion going up, simply because you can sleep surround them and force a TP out. If you don't force a TP out and they let the hero die, then what do you do? Their hero's dead. Guess what? That means free level or 2 for you, or at the least, once they back off, you can just put the expansion right back up again. It's really easy. Losing that hero early on makes quite a big difference. So either way, you're generally going to come out on top. Now, obviously it's very important to have the early team of relics, and I've done quite a few commentaries where I've fast expanded. So if you guys want more stuff about that, then look back at those commentaries. I don't know which numbers, but they're probably pretty easy to find. Did quite a few games doing this stuff, so where I get the build from and everything. Pretty simple, really. It's just important to get that early graveyard so you get a lot of extra wood, and you can purchase Sacrificial Skull for your Tomb of Relics. Now what I do here is I also get Skeleton Rod, and I use it before I leave my base. This is so I have a few extra units. I'm basically expecting to be intercepted, just like assuming the worst pretty much. Expecting I'm going to be intercepted, so I want as many units as I possibly can have. And so that's why I raised those skeletons initially there. And lucky for me, he decided to come harass me, as most good humans are doing nowadays. And also lucky for me, he doesn't have boosted speed on an Archmage, which means I can surround it and force a teleport. Just perfect for me, simply because that means I can expand completely at my own pace. I don't have to worry about him intercepting me, because he's out of the picture right now. Now, the way I fast expand this game is actually pretty ideal. I start producing acolytes right away. It's very important not to get behind your opponent in tech. And you'll see what I do is I put up 3 crypts. And I always put up 3 crypts when I fast expand like this, provided I have the money. And especially against humans, it's very effective, because if the human decides to go for Dragonhawks, which they do very, very often in this circumstance, then you can immediately just start pumping gargoyles. And you win in this situation, whatever the hell you want to call it, because in gargoyles versus Dragonhawks, Dragonhawks are 3 food, gargoyles are 2 food. You've also got an expansion. It's very, very easy to outproduce the human. You've also got 3 crypts. And believe me, gargoyles kill Dragonhawks very, very quickly. So they can area shackles all they want, but those Dragonhawks, it's the same as basically with Kodos. You can have a lot of Kodos, but if your opponent has more units than you have Kodos, and the Kodos, once they start dying, they can't do anything about it. I guess that makes sense. So anyway, I'm producing these acolytes immediately. So once I get 5 out of my necropolis, I can go ahead and tech as quickly as possible to tier 2, which is very, very important. Because, specifically as undead, because undead does not have any form of anti-air before tier 2, which is a problem, but it can be dealt with. So that's just what I'm kind of doing here. I've successfully fast expanded. I've got spirit towers going up. At this point, I'm quite confident he cannot intercept nor stop my fast expansion. And my first thought here is to check if he's expanded. Clearly, it's a very, what shall I call it, tempting option for the human player to fast expand, or just to expand at this point, to counter my expansion. Like I said, it doesn't matter what race you are, whatever. If one race has an expansion over the other, the one with the expansion is like 95% of the time going to win. In my opinion, unless we're looking at a real big difference in micro. But with similar micro, it's just we're looking at more units against less units. And so, the human's best option is to expand or to stop my expansion, and to do it soon. So that's basically what I'm expecting, and that's basically what I'm trying to prevent. So I've gone ahead, got a quick level 2, and then I'm just going to go right as Expo. I know he doesn't, hopefully he doesn't have Mountain King or anything just yet. Nothing that he can really, worst case scenario is I TP out, but I could definitely, I've, almost full mana, so it's very possible for me to get a nice surround on his hero, something like that. Or just creep out part of his map. But there's not too much risk in it for me, really. And I see here, much to my relief, he does not have an expansion. And at this point, I kind of feel like I've won the game, really. There's very, very little he can do if he doesn't get an expansion up. Or stop mine. But with 2 spirit towers up, that doesn't seem like a lot, but it really is. Just enough to hold him off until you can... sleep completely solves that problem of defend and then overwhelming your expansion. But, before tier 2, that expansion is just free cash for me, really. Let's see, I'm turning off Fog of War here. Now, he has actually brought peasants down to the lower right spot, which is a good call. He's also got a Mountain King, so he's way ahead of me in tech, clearly. But, alright, there we go, so he's actually expanding. So I basically got about 5 minutes of gold worth up on him. And he's going ahead and expand here. So I've got my 3 crypts going up. At this point, the gap is not too wide, clearly. I'm just going to put Fog of War back on. The gap is not too wide. In fact, he's really got the advantage. Not in the long run, but he's definitely got the advantage right now in that he... this is really stupid of me. I don't know what I was thinking. I go for a surround on the MK instead of the Archmage. Yeah, that wasn't smart. But, he's got second hero. He's got a higher level hero. He's got tier 2. And he's got an Expo going up. So he's quickly countering what I've been doing. And he just won a pretty minor battle, but it would have been really big if I didn't have an Expo. So here we go. Now I'm just pumping ghouls. I figure my best option is get to tier 3 ASAP. Try hero, mass ghouls, maybe some destroyers, support, or gargoyles, whatever. His expansion is not going to start paying him off for quite some time. So I've definitely got a nice advantage right now. Now, if he can stop me getting that tier 3, he can potentially win this game. But I I think if I'd just been a little bit more careful, really, that battle wouldn't have happened there, and I'd have held my advantage. So even though, you gotta realize, even though he's getting this counter expansion, I've had, like I said, I've had a running mine for maybe 5 minutes more than he has, and that's a lot of money. That's like 1,000, 2,000 gold probably. I don't know how much that is, but and that completely expands my options in terms of what I can build and counter and stuff. Well, it looks like he's only got 3 peasants on this mine, or no, there's 4. What am I talking about? Never mind. So he's sitting at tier 2. He's getting casters. I mean, if I were him, I mean, I'm not saying he's, I don't know, I just always see humans going for the same units, and I always see these same units losing to mass ghouls. I wonder if there's something else humans might try to do besides casters, riflemen. I don't know. So anyway, getting careless here. I see him, but I don't turn around. Walk right into the middle of him. Not smart. But at the least, I know he's coming at my base. So finish this creep camp quick and get back home. I'm not particularly scared. I see him very close to tier 3, and this is basically his one chance to come back out of this game. I mean, this is his one chance. As soon as I've got tier 3 for a minute, I'm going to have Frenzy and I'm going to have Destroyers. The moment I hit tier 3, this game pretty much ends, in my opinion. So this is his big chance to make a comeback, and this is where I've had the least time to make use of my stuff. So, however, I've got all that stuff back in my base. I've got almost 2 full control groups worth of units. So at this point, I'm just A-clicking with my big bunch of ghouls and keeping my Dreadlord alive. Now, clearly, it would be a really good idea if I would just go and surround the hero or something. I'm just A-clicking, and I'm not doing a very good job of it. I mean, he's doing a much better job here. He's moving back some of those footmen. I'm just letting stuff attack. But I also know that that doesn't even really matter because all I have to do is buy time for myself. I mean, before the fast expansion really got nerfed, I found that the biggest problem Undead had with human was not units, not the heroes really, but the fact that they would just be outproduced. And, you know, same thing goes for Night Elf, which is why, although I'm working on a strategy now with Fiends and A-bombs and stuff like that, I'm also going to be doing some fast expansion and see how well that turns out. I stopped because I was trying to do it on 2 rivers and it always got caught. But on a map like this, it's much more viable for fast expansion. So at this point, I have no problem trading units, clearly. I'm perfectly okay just sitting here. I've got tier 3, I've got Frenzy now, and I got those Destroyers coming. So now my key concern here is that he's counter-expanded, which indeed he has, and has had up for a while now. And now that I've got a very clear advantage, I want to go and eliminate his expansion and finish this game. Clearly, if I can just hold my expansions, this game is going to end. Simple as that. And really what I've been learning the hard way, but in Undead versus Undead, like, you know, everybody does, you know, just against an Undead players, you'll go and you'll have a nice advantage, but you're walking their base, you'll get your units slow, and you lose your hero or something stupid, and you lose a bunch of stuff, and you get all pissed off. And so, at least against Undead, or against, you know, somebody who's got a lot of base defense, just expand once you have the advantage. I mean, assuming they can't stop it, expansion is really your best option. And that's that. Now here I'm being careless again. I'm fighting without healing scrolls, and he's just totally screwing me over with that MK, but I figure it's okay. It's okay. I've got triple crypt pumping out the ghouls. All I gotta do is get a couple healing scrolls, and I'm basically good to go. I've got a really nice, like, neutralization kind of thing out of my heroes. I've got Nova and Impale to deal with the Rifleman, and Sleep to deal with the MK. So we're not looking at very much damage output for him, hopefully. So my goal right now is scout his X-bows and get some healing scrolls. And that's pretty easy. Now, oh, there's a nice trick I wanted to mention to you guys. See where that MK was just standing there? I'm sure you all know that trick. You can buy out the Goblin Merchant like that. I was playing this human the other day, and he was fast expanding. And I caught him fast expanding. But first I went to purchase something out of the Goblin Merchant there. And I walk up, and he built a farm right there. And it was really, really smart and really innovative of him. Because I couldn't buy my stuff out of there where I would have. And yeah, it was just really good. So you guys should try that sometime. Just putting a farm there, and it stops you buying out of the shop. Because he totally knew I was going for it. I don't know. It was just smart on his part. I thought it was cool. So anyway, yeah, I mean, clearly from the army he's got mass ghouls. The only thing that's really threatening the ghouls is that level 2 clap out of the Mountain King. But we're looking at riflemen, spellbreakers, sorceresses, priests. All that stuff gets killed by ghouls real easy. So I just got to get my army back there. But my best option probably would have just been to buy a Scroll of Town Portal and TP in. But he wasn't really going after anything crucial anyway, so. So I'm thinking about A-clicking here with all my stuff, but yeah, I'm just gonna like reorganize a bit. And basically, I A-click with everything, and I'm getting I immediately go for sleep on the MK, and I go for impale. I move my stuff in there. Like I gave all the commands to my heroes and stuff before they actually reached them. And lucky for me, he used that Scroll of Protection. Thanks for a lot of free mana on all my destroyers, which makes you lose. That was a bad move on his part. Never, ever, ever. I mean, the Scroll of Protection is the same as slow, and you don't get slow because the destroyer's mana owns you. So seriously, as the human player, don't use that Scroll of Protection if your opponent's got destroyers. Not a good move in my opinion. So at this point, I pressed the wrong thing, so I got 7 destroyers instead of like 5. But whatever. Clearly, this is really over for him. All I have to do now is just stop that lone expansion and expand again myself, and there's no way he's coming back from this. Doesn't matter what he does. So here's me being lazy and stuff, and only leaving 1 ghoul on wood because I don't like to be not stupid. But it's okay because the imbalance of my expansion is going to let me win this game. So now I separated my destroyers from my main group. It's just because the destroyers are faster, a little bit anyway, and they can fly. So I'm just going to send them around, scout his expos out, maybe kill some of these ogre maulers. Nice, clean, free XP. But I know I've got this game on lockdown, and I know I'm looking at a nice 4 level higher than me game win for experience. Yeah, you guys know what I'm saying. Now, if this guy had a lot more sorceresses in his army, I would not be A-clicking as much as I am. I'm sure you all know that slow is auto-cast to go off against an attack, not against movement. So what's great to do is you can Nova and Impale, and the slow won't go off, at least as far as I know, and you can just walk up and surround the Archmage or something like that. But here he's got like 1 sorceress or whatever, so I'm just A-clicking, or 0 sorceresses. But it's like, yeah, it's really rough on the human when you do that stuff. So anyway, I've just saved up some cash now. All I need is healing scrolls, and this game is mine pretty much. But I decide, I guess smart really, I decide to play it a little safer, and I'm not going to just run at his base, but I'm going to go take out his expo first. And I know he's got an expo at this point in the game. I mean, he had to have had one. Did he not? He did. There you go. So I'm just stocking up on stuff for my heroes. I don't like to go into high upkeep really, so that's just why I'm not producing more units. And although it probably would be smarter to just get a couple more ghouls and get a couple statues, like I said, I'm real lazy like that, so it's all good. It's all good. So basically I'm making the choice here of letting him get back his Mountain King or letting him keep his expansion. And I'm choosing to let him keep his expansion, which in the long run is probably the better choice. Simply because I'm now going and expanding myself. I know he can't stop it, so if for some reason I make a micro error when I was trying to take out that altar, I won't have to worry about it. Or, I don't know. They're both good choices. As long as I don't go creep or something. Now would not be the time to go creeping. FYI. But I know you guys can know that. Yeah. So here's me getting free XP off the peasants. It's always fun. You'll notice now I bought a scroll protection. This is not to make my ghouls have more armor. This is for free mana on my destroyers. Because what you can do is you can activate the scroll. Now you got 12 units that all have that thing. And you not absorb mana, you devour magic on them. And you got 2 or 3 destroyers with full mana all of a sudden. And believe me, that orb just crushes human. That is really the key to just destroying human. So that's what I'm doing there. Let's see, his army, yeah, my army is just also a bit bigger than his. He's going for a gyrocopter flying machine thing. I guess, so he needs some anti-air. Steam tanks are clearly his best bet. But I think at this point the game's kind of over. Just because we're looking at an expansion versus not expansion. Plus his gold mine's about to go out. So he knows this is pretty much over. But he's going to go for a last-ditch effort. Maybe kill my heroes or kill all my ghouls and level up his heroes real high or something, I don't know. But he just does not have the proper anti-air at this point. He's doing a good job with focus firing. But rifles don't really count because of Impale and Nova and my awesome ghouls. Now I don't really think the Lich was necessarily the best idea. DK probably would have been a bit better for the speed, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. So here's me owning away, and that's basically game over. Just keep the Mountain King slept with that level 3 sleep. Mountain King out of it, he can't touch my ghouls. It's as simple as that. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just sleeping over and over and over. So he says GG, and it's over. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys soon.